Shalom Chaverim, this is Rabbi Yitzchak Shapira bringing you a very brief Shiur Torah, a Torah lesson live from the Kotel. I wanted to first and foremost greet you from Yerushalayim, the holy city, from the Kotel, from the Western Wall, where we are studying Torah together, and wish you, upon your families, all the blessings from above as we start the book of Numbers. Numbers B'Midbar, and we're also celebrating Saturday night Shavuot. What is the connection between Parashat B'Midbar to Shavuot? What can we learn here about Shavuot from this Torah portion? Also prophetically, we see what is happening right now in the world, the announcement of Donald Trump, the moving of the embassy to Yerushalayim, Shavuot with the day or the night that is called the night of the bride. What message can we take from this? In the beginning of the Torah portion this week, it says, "Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe b'midbar Sinai be'oel moed be'echad lachodesh hasheni b'shana hashenit." And God spoke to Moses in the wilderness in the first of the month as they're going out of the Egypt. Now, I want you to understand something. Why is it mentioning this term B'Midbar? Why is the book called wilderness? Israel is in a journey from the Egyptian soil that they were raised up in all the way to the freedom. And the book of Numbers is giving us a practical guide and step. How are we to leave Egypt in the terms of bringing the Geulah, walking into the covenant, to the promised land? We are in a process today that is in the exile. As a matter of fact, we saw when we walked in here a plaque, and the plaque says that because of the baseless hatreds that brought the destruction of the temple, Israel remained up to this day in some sort of a spiritual desert. So the entire idea of a desert, of an exile, is important. The way you're coming out of an exile is more important. What do we need to do to bring the final Geulah? And this is what this Torah portion is about. It's talking about the steps that the children of Israel had to do to march forward, step closer to the promised land. Let's see if we can learn a few practical steps as we walk into the holiday of Shavuot, and that we can take with us. Number one, it says, "Se'u et rosh kol adat bnei Israel lemishpachtohem lebet avotam." The word "se'u" in Hebrew can have two meanings. "Se'u" means count, to count, but it also means carry, to carry. It is saying that the people have a responsibility of carrying their leaders. And this is important. As we go together to the final, as we go together to a redemption, okay, when we're heading to a redemption, it's important for us to understand that God given us leaders. God's given us rabbis and teachers and prophets, etc., etc. It is actually the people's responsibility to carry the leaders. We usually think that the leaders are carrying the people, but under Jewish law, it is the people who are carrying the leaders. Okay? So this is very important. I encourage each and every one of us to practice this principle of carrying our leaders. If you are attending a synagogue or a church, or you're part of our yeshiva, pray for your leaders. Number one is pray for your leaders, okay? We must learn. And it uses the word adat bnei Israel. Notice they're not calling a kahal. In the text here, they call adah, because they are a group of people who are united for one goal and one purpose and one vision. And what do you do when you're in one group of people? You pray for your leaders. So number one, we pray for our leaders. And then it also means, se'u, also mean to carry. It's come from the word carry, to not just to carry, to count, to count your people. So it says, so count everybody. And the reason that God says to Moses, count everybody, because Israel, next verse, he said, "Mi ben esrim shana," from the age of 20 and up, they're about to go to the war battle. The word here that is used in the text is the word tzava. Tzava is the word military. As a matter of fact, the IDF, the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, it's called Tzva Hagana Israel, or also acronym to the word Tzal. And here it's saying that when we go to a battle, when we are preparing to go to a battle, remember, they're in a spiritual exile and they're heading to the land. And God is said in the text, look, I have given you the land. Right? He says in this again and again, it's Exodus chapter 6, he's saying, I've given it to you. So if he's given it to us, why is it that we have to go to a battle? That doesn't make sense. If something is given to you, you don't have to go to a battle. It's given to you, it's like a gift. But please understand something about the Geulah. And this is something we need to understand. People today are looking at the Geulah and they say, well, we can't wait for Yeshua to come back. We can't wait for Yeshua to return because he promised us he will return. But that is actually not the case to look at the Geulah. The way you should look at Geulah is this following. God is giving you promises. God is giving Israel promises, and those promises are irrevocable. Those promises are eternal. But Israel still have to grab the promises. They have to reach and grab the promises. And this is something that we need to do. The body of Messiah, if you're a Messianic believer, yes, God is giving you promises. And maybe you ask yourself why those promises have not been fulfilled. Is the reason not be fulfilled is because you have to take the action of grabbing the promises and the covenant that God is given to it. And he said, "Tivkedu otam litzivotam ata ve'Aaron." You are to put them in a military order for you and for Aaron. And the language that is used in the text here, tivkedu, it's come from the word pkudah. Pkudah means command. As you put them, set for a battle. So part of this Geulah of Am Israel, according to the text, has to do with the fact that Israel has to be prepared for a battle. Israel is going for a battle to bring the Geulah. So if we want to bring the Geulah, we have to be fit to go to a battle. The word here also, pekudah, tifkedu, is like saying, yes, sir. But it's also come from the Hebrew word pikadon. What is pikadon? Is deposit. In essence, the text is saying here, I have deposited something in the children of Israel, and now you have to collect on the deposit that I have given the children of Israel. I have given them some deposit, I have given them the Torah. Now they need to use the tools to bring the Geulah. The Geulah is coming from the people who are partnering with God. This is significant. This is important for us to know. God, listen to me, God entrusted something to you. And the thing He is entrusted to you is the living Torah. It's the Ruach HaKodesh. The Holy Spirit is being entrusted to you. The question you have to ask yourself, why would God entrust this gift to you? And the answer is simple. He's entrust this gift to you so that you will go to a physical, emotional, and spiritual battle, and you will be able to overcome, to walk into the Geulah and make a path for Geulah. Right? The prophet Isaiah in the chapter 57 tells us, make a way, make a highway. And this is exactly what the Israelites is going here. They're going forward, they're going to the battle. They're going to the battle, and so they're setting the way for 600,000 Jewish people to cross over to the promised land. And he said every man over the age of 20 is going to walk into the battle. And he's selecting those leaders to be able to walk. Listen, and then it says here, ve'ele shemot ha'anashim. This is important. He selected them one by one. He's selecting our people one by one. He's picking them to be the leaders. The question is, why did God chosen the people that He has chosen? The answer should be clear. He chosen the people He's chosen because those people are ready and fit to go into battle. The question I like to challenge you before Shavuot, that you receive Torah, right? We're receiving the Torah in Shavuot. The question, are we ready to battle? Do you understand what the Torah is about? The Torah is a tool that will allow us to walk into a spiritual battles and to overcome the darts of Hasatan. This is the purpose of the Torah, to help us to, as a tool to overcome the wilderness, to come to the promised land, to bring others to the promised land. And the question is, do we use this tool, the Holy Torah, for the right way? In Ta'anit 7 Aleph, it says that if one does not use the Torah for its own purpose, not only that the Torah will not help you, the Torah will kill you. The Torah will absolutely will destroy you. So the question that the Torah is really suggesting to us here is that one who is fit to battle will not only carry his leaders, but he will be ready spiritually. Please understand, those people were not selected because they were skillful in sword. They were selected because they are ready. And here it says, Ve'ele Hashemot kol yotzei tzava. All the people who have been graduating from the military. What kind of military is it? It's a spiritual military. It's not just a physical military, it's a spiritual military. And we read some of their names and we understand why. We read about Shlomiel ben Tzor Shaddai, the rock of the mighty one of Israel. And Ammi, Nadav. We read about Nachshon, Ammi, Nadav, charitable to my people, you know. And we read about here Ben Yosef and Ephraim, Eli Shama ben Ammi Od. Eli Shama. What is Eli Shama? God has heard my prayer, okay? And we read about Dan Achiezer. I am my brother helper. Are you notice a repeating theme about those names, the names of those people? They have carried each other. They have been responsible for each other. They had the spiritual burden that they took upon themselves from one another. This is significant. This is important that you understand that part of the messianic walk is your horizontal relationship with one another. That's why Yeshua himself said, through Yeshua, it says that one who says he loves God and he hates his brother, and he does not mean hate. The word hate here in the text means love less. If one loves God but love less his brother and sister, he is a liar. He's an absolutely liar. One cannot be a leader. One cannot be in the spiritual army of God, okay? He cannot be in the spiritual army unless he carries spiritual responsibility towards his brothers, okay? And this is important. And here it says, Asher Natvu B'Shemo. Hey, they were named. Their name carry power. That's really what the Torah is telling us, that their physical name literally is carry power. And Nachman is come here and he says to us, he says that they're always strong and fit to war, every one of them, okay? The weak, the sick, the elderly, they could not go to the battle. The question is, what kind of physical elements that the strong one had? I would like to suggest to you that they were not just physically, the issue here that they were not just physically healthy, but they were spiritually healthy, okay? And here we are counting all those people among each tribe, and he said, here are the names. Please understand, if you are physically strong, if you are spiritually ready for a battle, how do you know that? The question is, how do you know that? You might want to know today, am I ready to be spiritually going to this battle to bring our people from from exile into the Geula. How do we know that? Okay? Here is the way you know this. Others will follow you. Each one of those men had 10, 20,000, 5,000, 10,000 surrounding them, following them. A person who is spiritually ready for a battle is a person who is attracting others to follow, okay? And it's important. In the Brit HaChadashah, in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, it says that those who follow Mashiach truly they are like aroma of life unto life. What does it mean? It means that others are coming and others are following. So those people were not just spiritually strong. They did not just have a responsibility, a spiritual responsibility to carrying others, but others were following them. What I'm suggesting to you today is that God is calling you to be leaders, okay? To be a physical, emotional, and spiritual leaders upon the world around you. So you will lead. And here it says, that they come to this place called the Mishkan Ayedut, and the children of Israel has done everything that God has commanded them, okay? Now, I want you to go a little bit further in the Torah with me and understand what is happening here. Israel is ready to conquer the land. Israel is ready to go to the battle. But before Israel can have the spiritual victory, Israel have to be structured in such a way that we have leaders and we have those who follow the leaders and inspiring the people. Today we have a problem in the body of Messiah that people do not understand it, but God called the Jewish people. He indeed called the Jewish people to be the leaders inside the body of Messiah, okay? This week when I was in the conferences, it was quite interesting to me to see Christian embracing Orthodox Jews in such a wonderful way. And I say praise God for this. While the Messianic Jews, they are, they're kind of in the background. Yeah, we say God bless the Messianic Jews, God bless them, but they are, our main responsibility is with the no regular Jews. Let me tell you something. You know what Jews are the Jews that are going to be leading the way? The Jews who will be leading the way is going to be Messianic Jews. I know that behind a shadow of a doubt. Messianic Jews are going to be leading the way to bring Israel to salvation, because all of Israel will be Messianic Jews in this time, okay? And here it says, Ele Kruei Aedah, chapter 1, verse 16. Those are the one who have called to bring the testimony forward. Ask yourself the question today, which testimony we are supposed to bring forward? It says in the book of 1 John that it is the testimony of Yeshua, a Mashiach, that we are to bring forward. Who do you think is going to bring this forward? Messianic Jewish believers. I am calling upon Messianic Jewish believers this time to wake up and take your leadership role. Don't be like the church. God has not called us as Messianic Jews to be like the church. And not because the church is bad, it's because we are supposed to be leading the nations, okay? Not to integrate to the point that we look like them, but to be leading them and to bring them out. And here they called in Hebrew, Kurei Aida Nesiei Matot Avotam. They are called to bring the testimony forward. The question is, what is the testimony that we're to bring forward? Friends, we're about to walking into the night of the bride, arguably one of the most important days in Jewish history. And what happened in this day? In this day, Israel received the Torah and married God. But that's not the only thing that happened in this day. The other thing that is happening in this day, according to Jewish tradition, is Genesis chapter 12. Abraham started to bring the nations in to his tent During this day, according to Jewish tradition, leadership is being measured by our ability to bring people to the tents of Abraham, to bring people to covenants of Israel. You see, Noah failed. He brought animals instead of people. Abraham was much more successful because he was able to bring the people in. Our job today is to be spiritually fit, number one. Bring people to the tents. The tents will be full with Jewish people. And through bringing people to the tent, we will build an army. And through this army, the Geulah will come because we will be able to leave the wilderness together and bring the name of Yeshua to the Am Israel. Friend, I hope you enjoyed this Pninei Torah, this pearl of Torah for this weekly parasha. Every name counts. Your name counts, okay? Every name counts. But these names start, those names that really be exalted, listen to me, is the names of those who put their brothers before them. So I leave you with the challenge. Who do you put? And don't say Yeshua. What human being do you put before yourself? Do you carry your leaders? Do you carry the people around you? Are you being a lowly servant? You see a picture here of the servant of the Lord. Isaiah 52 says, behold, my servant will prosper, he will be lifted and will be very high. But this servant is also lowly. The lower you make yourself, the more humble you make yourself, the meeker you make yourself, the more you serve your brethren, the higher God will going to send you high to be a leader in the house of Israel. So let's stop tearing people down. Let's learn to be humble. Let's stop operating through jealousy and envy and lashon hara. And instead of us, let's bless each other. Let's carry each other. And I'm telling you, a lot of you carrying me, you don't even understand this. You're carrying me in your prayers, and I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for my students who pray for me and fast for me. I'm so thankful. That's what carrying me to be able to do the work. The same way that Israel, those leaders, have to be carried by the people. And then the leader gave something back to the people, of course. It's a covenantal relationship. What I'm trying to say today, that this Holy Torah, the Torah that we're about to celebrate, Shavuot, this year, Shavuot should be a commitment for us to carry each other and improve our horizontal relationship. Shavuot should be every bit about our horizontal relationship with one another, and it is on a vertical relationship with each other. I hope you understand it, and may we will truly learn how to help each other, hold each other accountable, bless each other, and bring forward the true wedding of Mashiach forward. That starts with caring each other and the way we treat each other. God bless you from the Kotel. May the God of Israel bless you. Wishing you all blessing from above in the mighty name of Mashiach Yeshua.